Breaking tonight on the 10 o'clock news, you're looking at the wreckage of a fiery plane crash that happened next to a home in St. Augustine, leaving 2 people seriously hurt and sending neighbors scrambling for safety.
Get the hell out of the house. Grab the cats, get out.
That teen was at home when this plane crashed just feet from her house. Sky 4 shows the wrecked plane in a wooded area next to U.S. Highway 1 across the street from Northeast Florida Regional Airport.
A man and a woman were rushed to the hospital with extensive injuries. Their dog was also on board and taken to an animal emergency room. News4JAX reporter Eric Avni is joining us live from the crash site with more on what happened. Eric?
Eyewitnesses tell News4JAX that this Piper Malibu aircraft barely made it off the ground during takeoff. In fact, they say the aircraft nearly hit an airport fence before skimming over U.S. Highway 1 and then crashing into this wooded area before it burst into flames. Charred, twisted metal is all that remains of this Piper Malibu airplane after it crashed shortly after takeoff. Laura Green and her son Dalton were driving down U.S. Highway 1 when they noticed the plane struggling to gain altitude during takeoff.
It looked like it had just barely made it over the fence. It was like flying like right across from US 1. And it was flying so low, right? It almost like hit the top of the trees and then it went down.
Lillian Romedy and her sister Delaney were at home when the plane came down in this wooded area just feet from their house.
We're watching TV and we just suddenly hear like this loud crash, like a few loud thumps and stuff. And we look at the window and suddenly just all of the trees just burst into flame.
I was hoping the people were okay. That's about it. I was glad it didn't actually hit the house.
This photo shows the amount of smoke elevating above the tree line as the plane became fully engulfed in flames. The witnesses I spoke with say that right after the plane crashed, they saw multiple people getting out of their cars on US 1 and then running through this wooded area over here to the crash site, helping the people on board get out.
Oh my gosh, so many people. It was kind of amazing to watch. We saw people jumping out of their cars running into the forest. After all the police came and stuff, we saw a bunch of people come out with bruises and cuts. And one guy was coughing, and I guess it's from all the smoke.
A 61-year-old male pilot and his 59-year-old female passenger were taken to the hospital with extensive injuries. A dog that was also on the plane was taken to an animal hospital, but it's not clear if the dog survived. News4JAX aviation expert Ed Booth says that based on what the eyewitnesses were telling us, this Piper Malibu either suffered an engine problem or a flight control problem, specifically extending the flaps for a short takeoff. The plane took off from runway 24, which is only 2,700 feet long, making it the shortest runway at the airport. Booth says NTSB investigators will be looking into whether the flaps were set for a short takeoff. He also says investigators will look to see if the engine was producing enough power. Back here live, investigators will likely be out here first thing in the morning to have this wreckage moved into, transported to a hangar at the airport across the street where they can continue their investigation into what caused this plane to crash. Reporting live in St. Johns County, Eric Avni, Channel 4, the local station.